Hey guys, Will here. So it came to my attention this morning that a brand new drone racing game has just been released. Now I've been a bit of a drone nut on and off for about the last 5 years. I owned a couple of Phantoms and Mavics, always camera drones, never racing drones, but I very nearly did get into drone racing probably about 4 years ago now. The only reason I didn't was time away from kids, another expensive hobby that I just couldn't afford to justify. And yeah, basically it just, it was all too much at the time, but it's always something that's kind of been in the back of my mind as something that I would like to try one day. So when I saw that this game had come out, it was something that I immediately just had to try out. So I thought I'd take you along for the ride today as we test this out for the first time. So it's sort of marketed as a drone simulator. And one of the really cool features here is you can actually map a real life drones controller to your PC and use it to input in the game. Now I don't have a drone currently, so it's not something that I can test out today, but if there's enough interest in this feature, then let me know. And I'll definitely try to get my hands on a controller to test out for you guys a little bit later on. But one of the absolutely incredible things about drone racing, which if you've ever seen it, if you haven't seen drone racing before, go and watch some on YouTube before you watch this video, because it's absolutely incredible. If you've ever seen Red Bull Air Race, it's kind of similar to that, but imagine wearing FPV goggles or, point of view goggles and, actually seeing what the drone's seeing and flying around almost like in virtual reality, but it's real. It's just absolutely nuts, and the skills that these guys have to fly these things is absolutely incredible. And I'm guessing because this is sort of pitched as a simulator, it's going to be pretty difficult. I'm expecting I'm probably going to absolutely suck at it, but nonetheless we should be able to get a good feel for what the game's like, whether it's something that will be worthwhile for drone enthusiasts and whether it's something that's just going to be entertaining and fun for us that are less skilled in that department. So we'll jump straight in and have a look. Now one thing that I do want to note here is that there doesn't appear to be any VR support. Now that was something that disappointed me straight up, because obviously one of the really cool things about drone racing is that the guys wear FPV goggles, so they're sort of seeing what the drone sees. But anyway, we'll see what it's like running on an ultra wide monitor here. We're going to be using just a standard Xbox controller here, so none of the fancy sim racing controls that you guys are used to. But anyway, let's jump on board and see what this game's like. So let's have a little poke around in the interface here. DCL draft selection. This gives us, what does it say here? The dream of being a DCL pro, play for a place in the draft selection. So you can actually play and earn a position in the real life draft for the real life DCL. That is pretty darn cool. I guess because it's so, it's kind of a virtual thing in reality, isn't it? So it's a bit of a crossover kind of thing. Fly now button, we'll check that out in a moment. We've got a DCL draft selection countdown as well. Got a fly tab here, so time attack mode, events mode, free flight, and multiplayer race flow. Check out all of those in just a moment. Customization tab here. We've got skins, trails as well, so you can customize the color and the configuration of the trail. Looks like I can't do anything at the moment with that. I guess you got to unlock that or something like that. Skins. Again, we've only got one skin available at the moment. Now, it is on special at the moment for $40 Australian, normally $47, I think. So it's a pretty expensive title. It's certainly not like one of these $5 mobile game titles. But the user interface so far is quite old-fashioned looking to me. It actually reminds me quite a lot of Trackmania Nations, which we looked at about a month ago now, which was a game from right back in 2006. So a little bit kind of primitive looking, but everything that we need is kind of there. Got badges as well, so obviously we can earn badges. This money, I'm assuming, is money that you earn, so you can't click on buy, so I can't go and buy something. We've got $100 available, so obviously we're earning points as we go through the various different things. So we'll click on profile now. We can set up our profile. Our social media links, don't really want to share across social media, but if you want to do that, you can. Settings, so setup. The flight mode option you can select will radically change your game experience. Acro mode will allow you the full control and best performance, but it's the hardest to learn. Arcade mode allows you to have the most immediate racing experience, and as all the assists are active, the system takes care of the altitude control for you. So I might just run through these actually. GPS mode is for pilots already familiar with camera drones, so that's me. Or if you want to train your exploration and filming skills, free flight mode is recommended. Angle mode, aka stabilized, is for amateur pilots familiar with toy drones. Neither GPS nor angle modes are going to be very competitive. We recommend you learn arcade and acro mode for the best racing performance. Yeah, so this is basically just going through all the different modes. So it's good that they give you all these different modes straight off the bat, so you don't have quite such a steep learning curve. I think that it probably would have been quite difficult if they just kind of threw you straight in. So we'll start off with GPS mode, seeing as I am familiar with flying a regular camera drone. Skill level we'll set to amateur for now. Prop wash simulation, so obviously that is simulating the wash that you get off the propellers. So, you know, kind of like ground effects in a car, I guess. Battery simulation, so that would be the drop off of the battery voltage as we go on, so drone will become slower. So drone tuning looks, oh wow, we've got a whole bunch of stuff we can change in here. RC rate, super rate, RC expo. I'm guessing the drone nerds among us will know what all of this stuff is. I'm not even going to mess with this, to be honest, but definitely looks like there's plenty of stuff that you can muck around with there for people who know what they're doing. Prop wash is simulated. You'll not be able to tune it out without the PIDs. You can disable it in settings or setup. Okay, I'm not going to pretend to know what any of that adjustment is, but anyway, that's all good. All right, and we've got our money there as well. Now, under settings here as well, let's go back one. We've got control customization, so we are just using a gamepad here. So again, we've got quite a lot of customization here available. We've got stick or trigger modes. We've got 0 throttle at stick center as well, so we can adjust how the throttle behaves. Normally on a drone, you've got a throttle that kind of doesn't spring back, kind of just, you know, you push it up or push it down depending on how much upward thrust you want. So that's kind of, I guess, a simulation for that. But we'll talk about how it actually handles in just a moment. Control maps, so we've got what looks like a couple of different modes here. So mode 1, different configurations. Mode 2, mode 3, mode 4. Now mode 2 it looks like, so altitude, up and down, heading, left and right, forward and backward and left and right there. 3 is probably what I'm most used to from flying my Mavic Pro before I sold it about 2 years ago. So I'm going to go with that for now. Close that off. Transmitter calibration. So I'll just quickly show you what we've got in here as well. Close this off. So you can assign all the controls to a third-party control like we mentioned before. And you can see it is actually detecting all of my input controls here for my simulator, but obviously we're not going to be using those. Again, we've got a whole bunch of selections here. But we'll explore all of this a little bit more if you guys are interested. I'll try and get my hands on a drone controller and we can see if we can plug it in and test it out. So that looks like pretty much everything that we have here. So let's go and do some flying, I think. Let's start off with just a free flight. We're racing against other ghost drones, which are flights set by other pilots. Check the manage pilots window. Okay. Test tracks are tracks that have been developed by DCL for live races in specific locations and not have fully realized environments. So, drone simulation. What do we got? Different types of drones here that we can choose. A heavyweight, a lightweight, or a... We'll go with maybe we'll go with a lightweight, I think. That might be cool. So we've got easy tracks, intermediate tracks, hard tracks, and DCL test tracks. So we'll start off with the easy tracks here. And we've got route hairpin corner. Collect more props to unlock more tracks. Okay, so we can only actually do the one track to begin with, so it looks like we are going to have to sort of progress through, unfortunately. I can't sort of just jump in and show you a bunch of different things. But we'll click on fly. Okay, actually looks a lot like Trackmania, actually. It's quite primitive graphically, let's just say. But anyway, let's fly around here. Okay, so we've got our altitude, which is the same as what I was expecting with the up and down stick here. We got, okay, so that's pitch, so that's actually different to what I'm used to with my old drone. So we've got left and right movement here like that, and then our pitch. So I might actually just try and quickly adjust that because that's a little bit unusual to me. So we want left and right to be, yeah, there we go, altitude and left and right, forward and back and heading. Yep. So mode 1 is what I had on my Mavic. So let's try that. Yeah, okay, that feels more comfortable now. All right. Whoa, dancing all over the place here. Is it windy? All right, let's get going. So we're gonna go through the gate here. I think we hit it. It's dancing all over the place. Whoa, this is really, really hard. So we're gonna have to go through a gate. It's so awkward. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's awkward because I'm a total noob and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sure that experienced drone pilots would take to it very, very quickly. Well, that wasn't too tricky. We're in free flight mode here, so we can just kind of fly around and explore. But I mean, it does. I'm not gonna lie. The graphics do look quite primitive. How far can we fly around? Can we attack birds and stuff? I don't know. What have we got over here? A flying plane. Okay, what's he doing? Can we crash into it? All right, let's stick to what we should be doing here. Do some more exploring. Looks like there's some sort of a little DCL marquee or something over here. I'll just quickly go into graphic options and see if we do have any further adjustment that I'm missing here. So we'll go back out to graphics quality. We've got high, medium, and low. And that is about it. Window mode. We've got a, let's just go back out actually. We'll go back to the main menu. Okay, that's interesting. We're actually not running at full screen resolution, which makes sense because you guys are seeing a narrower field of view there as well. So I can't actually select the full 3440 by 1440 resolution that my monitor has, which probably would account for part of the reason why the resolution doesn't look fantastic. But anyway, so I did do the initial, there was like a little thing that we had to do to run through, but looks like we've got a time of 14 seconds is the record at the moment in acro mode. Arcade angle GPS, we're running in GPS mode. You can see that guy's using a key. That's cool that it shows you what the controller they were using as well. So this person's obviously using a drone controller, a keyboard. Now I don't know whether it's just showing us people from Australia or what the deal is there. But anyway, let's race. Bad start there. It's so much like Trackmania, even just the little overlays and everything. So through there, through the gate, around the bend. Drop the altitude a bit, through the next gate. So it's like I'm adjusting to it relatively quickly. Obviously I'm slow, but it's not impossible, even in GPS mode. Okay, there we go. 35 seconds, okay, so quite a bit off. We did get a bad start there though. We'll go, what can we do? Spectate. Let's have a look at the spectate mode. It's like a replay. Look at him go. Where's the leader? Man, these guys are flying. Literally. Bam, straight in. Alright, so let's go into fly now. We'll have a look at events first, I think. So we've got a sneak peek Monday, draft selection qualifications. I'm not even going to attempt that yet. So these are all locked, so we actually have to, this is the only thing that we have available at the moment. So these unlock at different times throughout the year. So you can kind of see what's going up. DCL 2020 draft selection qualification. Let's have a look. Must register your email to participate in events. I don't really want to register my email because I'm not serious about trying to do it. So we'll go back to fly here. We'll try a time attack first. So literally all we can do at the moment is just this one track. We have to unlock all these props. We need to unlock 3 props before we can go to the next track. And the only way to unlock props is by being faster. So let's switch to arcade mode quickly. Okay. Okay, this is a little different. Looks like it's, okay, so it's doing the altitude for us, so all we have to do is just steer. By the looks of things. Seems kind of pointless. Whoa. Okay. No wonder people are a lot faster with arcade mode. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. It kind of takes the entire skill requirement out of it. You just press forward and then steer. It's kind of a bit lame, to be honest. But we'll try and unlock some stuff here. We'll keep retrying until we've unlocked enough props that we can move on to the next thing. We needed 3 props, I think. Oh, we're 0.0. We're 2,000th off the time that we needed. All right, one more try. Oh, we did it. 16,787. Nice. So that gives us our 3 props that we need to unlock the next track, I think. So we'll go main menu. Okay. Lax green run. Okay. Let's go race. Earning some money now too. What do we got here? McDonald's. Through the golden arches. Reminds me so much of Wipeout. Okay, so we just got to keep trying over and over and over basically until we get to the time that we need. So 27.7 we need to unlock to get to the next track. So it's just it's literally just a case of doing the same thing over and over and over until you get to the next thing. So it's very, very limited content to just sort of explore, which yeah, I'm not a massive fan of. I was kind of hoping there'd be big open world landscapes that you could fly around a little bit, but I mean, I guess it's a racing game. It's not an exploration game, so it makes sense. $28 seconds. All right, so we need to go not that much faster. We'll try. Yay, we made it. Thank God. Okay, let's try the next track. So, Lax Green Run, Oil Bando, Smokestack Sprint. Okay, race. Oh, too soon. I'm going to switch off that music too. It's starting to get really annoying. Turn off the music. There we go. Alright. Restart. This is a kind of cool map. Reminds me of Battlefield 3, I think it was? Battlefield 4 maybe? I don't know. One of the maps in one of the earlier Battlefield games. Okay, we're slowest. So we need to do it in 14.4 seconds, okay. Alright, we'll give it one more go here, and then we might have a little look at multiplayer, I think. Whoop, too soon. Try once more. Okay. Whoops. Okay, back to main menu. Let's have a look at, see if we can access multiplayer. So fly, multiplayer, race flow. Set your fastest lap time in a time-limited multiplayer session with up to 30 players. Currency is rewarded depending on your individual track ranking and consistency ranking well over the selection of courses. Okay. Let's do race flow easy, I think. Probably a good place to start. Well, it seemed to jump into a server straight away. That's a good sign. Okay. This is a more entertaining looking map. It's like London maybe. Red Bull. Oh, into the net. Were we slowest? No, we weren't slowest. Oh, there you go. We'll try again. Session ends in 1 minute, apparently. Not the best launch. A much more entertaining map, though. Okay, so it's very, very, very similar to Trackmania, where you just, you know, it's that instant gratification, just doing the same thing over and over and over again until you get a good time, and then whoever has the best time at the end wins kind of idea. So we've got 20 seconds left in this session. No point in starting another one now, but I'm struggling to get into it. I don't know whether it's because, you know, like you just, I don't know, like in arcade mode, it's too easy, but then in the other modes, it's very hard to sort of get a feel for it. Whereas, you know, games like Trackmania, you kind of just... Oh, too soon. There we go. Games like Trackmania, you get a feel for it faster. I guess it's easier because you're kind of operating in 2 dimensions instead of 3. But it's basically the same idea. And I can imagine for real drone pilots that are training, you know, using their real life controller and things like that, it could be really cool and really valuable. But I feel like just, you know, for a casual player like me that's not racing competitively in real life, it's going to be a really steep learning curve to be competitive. And I just can't see myself really wanting to put the time into something like this to get that competitive at it. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle for me, to be honest. I'm not saying that it's a bad game by any means. That's not what I'm saying at all. But, you know, if you're not really a drone nut, it might be one to give a bit of a pass, I think. So, I don't know. We'll persevere a little bit longer here. We can go acro. Try acro. Resume. Throttle down, please. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so we can literally just flip over in acro mode. Oh god, this is hard. Missed gate, you're damn straight. Alright, let's get a feel for what's going on here. Whoa. Okay, I think we froze the game, did we? No? Okay. I'm actually kind of glad that I'm not wearing VR goggles, because I think that I would have thrown up by now if I was. Alright, so we got a pitch. Try to get a feel for what's going on here. We drop back down. Whoa. This is really, really hard. Maybe I should have left it in GP. I got a new respect for people that do this in real life, I can tell you that. Far out. I don't even know where to start with this. I think it's because my throttle always wants to return to the middle. It's throwing me a little bit because you're used to having a progressive throttle. Let's go back to GPS mode, I think. Try that. Oh, too soon. Yeah, see the problem with GPS mode is it's really slow because you never get the angle of the drone right. So it doesn't want to pitch forward, you know, and really go nuts like you kind of want it to. So having to decelerate to lower the drone down and then go under the gate. Yeah, so it's never really going to be competitive in GPS mode, I don't think. I'll give it another shot. Retry. Yeah, it's just too slow. No point in even doing that. Let's go back to arcade again. Restart. Yeah, so like you're fast, but it just takes all of the skill requirement out of it. Like you're literally just steering around because you're not having to deal with things like tire slip like you would with a game like Trackmania. It's too easy. So there you have it, guys. That is a quick look at what you can expect out of DCL. Now, obviously, I'm not the most talented pilot in the world. In fact, I have absolutely zero skill, as we've just seen. But I think that gives you a good understanding of, what you can expect, the kind of learning curve. If you want to get into acro modes and stuff like that, you really do have to sort of get your head around how it all works in 3 dimensions. And yeah, look, to be honest with you guys, it probably isn't a game for me. I don't think it's something that I'm going to put too much more time into. But for those of you who are really into your drone racing, I can definitely see the benefit in here. It is a little bit sort of, I don't know if primitive is the right word, but it just feels a little bit unfinished. And I think that, for a game that costs $50 normally, it's a little bit kind of, yeah, it's lacking in a lot of the features that I would expect from a game that costs that much. But if you are an avid drone racer, then yeah, I think it's probably definitely worth checking out. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of reviews out there from other drone racers that can give a much more accurate perspective on that than I can. So I'm going to leave it at that for today, guys. Leave a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye.